Yes, sir. Brunch with bosses. And the hustle continues, baby. You know what I mean? When I got my dog Coach B out of here, man, he at the bar eating, crunching, munching. Know that thing good. But now I got my dog ISO V.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
Man, I appreciate you pulling up on the kid, man. You know, this is we connecting real people into this Black $1 billion network thing, man. So, you know, the blessing is appreciated you pulling up, man.
That's a fact.
Before we get into the interview, you know, like I say, man, look into America's eyes, man, and tell them who you are. Tell them where to follow you at.
Yo, you call me Carlos Loso, but I represent ISO V Photography. You can follow me on Instagram at ISO_V Photography. You can find me on TikTok at ISO V Photography, and you can find me on Facebook at ISO V Photography.
Man, everybody tap in. If you got your phone, take the nearest device that you got, probably the one that you're holding in your hand, and tap in with my mans right quick. We went to high school together, so I'm totally, you know, enamored by what you doing now, because photography, I never seen it in your lane. I didn't know what, you know, we all didn't know what the hell we'd be doing, but I never seen you doing photography. So where that come from, bro? Where it come from?
Man, I've been doing photography for maybe like close to about 10 years now. Mm-hmm. Sometime around 2012, I've always been into design. So I've always kind of drew when I was younger, when I was a kid and stuff like that. But that, you know, when you get to high school, it's not cool no more to draw. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I was like, okay, I kind of stepped away from that. But then I have a good friend of mine, Black Dove, Akeem. He also went to high school with us. He really got serious about his music career. And you know, I got like a little point and shoot camera, and I was like, let me see what I can do with this because I want to help my mans out. And just kind of, you know, fooling around with it, I kind of grew an interest in photography at that moment. I think it was like 2012, maybe 2010, something like that. And I mean, once I started chasing it, full throttle, I realized like the possibilities that photography really can open up for me as a creative.
And that's big, bro. And the thing I want to shake your hand and give you credit for, you just told me about a homeboy that's doing music. I'm glad you ain't go pick up the damn microphone too, bro. I'm glad you found something else to do, bro. Because I couldn't. Oh Lord, we don't need no more rappers.
It's a lot of them.
It's a lot of rappers. If you rap it, it's cool. But it is cool for you to go and get your CDL, bro. You can go get your CDL too and drop a verse. That's
a fact.
That's one thing I want to say about you. That was big. So seeing someone else's passion kind of drove yours as well.
Facts. It was really just me trying to look out. You know, it was like, hey, you know, we dress fly. Come on, bro. Like, let's go get some pictures. You know, I remember one time he actually asked me to come and perform with him. I'm no rapper. Like, I'm no rapper at all. But we went to this little rundown spot, and he was like, yo, just memorize the song by Wednesday. And it was like Saturday. I'm like, what? And he was like, yo, just come and support me. And I did that. And when I kind of picked up the camera, he was like one of the first people I took pictures of. And it was like he was there for the action, you know what I mean? So it's all around support, you know.
And as you talking about support as an entrepreneur, how was giving out that free support big in helping you grow your business?
Well, it was a journey at first. I mean, because you know, as an entrepreneur, you're looking to make money, right? So, you know, I would take a lot of free work here and there because I was trying to kind of prove myself and kind of sharpen my skills. But then it got to a point where once I got good enough and I did my homework, my research, invested my money, did all of that, then the free work actually became, you know, beneficial to me.
But you had to do what?
You had to do it for free first. You had to sharpen those skills. You had to get right.
And as you did it for free, you had to do your research too, bro.
You got to do that and invest, man.
Anybody thinking that it don't take no money to make no money, bro, you are sadly mistaken. I said that in the interview with Perry.
Yes, sir.
It's going to take some money to make some money, but you got to do what you got to do first. You got to give out some free work, and then you have to most definitely research. Okay, so now we here and you doing photography. You giving out some free work, but when did the pay work start to come in?
So I had the point and shoot camera, and that was kind of just playing around with photography. And then once I graduated from college, I was like, let me get a camera. You know, you got a little job, I got a little money. Let me get a camera I could change the lens out. And then once I got that camera, it was mostly like my church family. Like, they were like, hey, you know, we have a wedding and they need a photographer. And understanding how expensive photographers are in Atlanta, I was like, hey, you know, I'm there. I got you guys. I'm here. And, you know, that kind of started the pay rate. And then, like, as soon as I started posting it, then it started kind of picking up traction. And then I had to invest more into the company. And then it took off.
Man, I see you on Instagram. You got the pictures popping, bro. You making some of the, hey, I ain't going to talk about that. Some of that your client, but, you know, you taking them from, I'm talking about, but you got them looking like superstars, bro. How you jump into the different lighting? Because, well, before we do that, what makes you different than other photographers? You know what I mean? Like, because everybody's shooting, but what makes you different?
So ISO V photography, I like to do pictures to kind of make everyone feel like they belong in a magazine. Right. And I take a lot of inspiration from, like, my upbringing. I'm a kid just like you were back in, you know, the early 2000s, late 90s, going home every day watching 106 in Park. And you remember those Hype Williams videos, right?
Facts.
And you remember how fly those Hype Williams videos were without all the extra effects and everything. But there was this one video, you remember the Busta Rhymes video? The baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. You know I got it. So that song, if you look at that video again, that right there drove my inspiration for how I colored his skin. Because, like, there's a scene where Busta Rhymes is kind of rapping and you see that key light on him and his skin looks, it's glowing. You know what I mean? It's perfect. So, like, I'm watching that video one day and I was like, let me see if I can edit this photo to get it somewhat like that. And I worked on it. And then I was like, yo, this is fire. And it was one of my wife's photos. And I was like, this is fire. This belongs in a magazine. And I was like, my work is good enough to now say that it belongs in a magazine. And that's where I drove that inspiration from, man. And I mean, I've been going with that style, and it's been known as the ISO V style. Like in photography, so many people have different styles in the way they kind of edit pictures. Some place presets, some, you know, they edit, you know, from raw to the end product.
Right.
And me, I find my own lane with it, and it's really just accentuating those colors, making things darker, and kind of bringing that drama feel to the photo.
Man, I love it, bro. You done found your own lane, and that's hard to do. You know what I mean? Finding your own lane in a field where everybody kind of looking the same and doing the same, bro.
Facts.
What was it like once you finally got that placement in a magazine?
Man, it was gratifying, like extremely gratifying, because the magazine reached out to me, and that was another thing. You know, I'm just posting, doing my due diligence on social media, doing what I got to do.
Social media.
And they reached out to me in my, IG inbox and was like, hey, we really love your images. We really love your style. We really want to feature you in our magazine. And I was like, cool. And I just kind of got into boudoir photo shoots. So they were seeing some of those and they were like, whoa, like, let's feature you on our second issue. And I said, whoa, okay. I was like, we'll send you some copies. And I mean, it's very gratifying to know. Shout out to Mex Magazine for featuring me in their magazine issues, because I mean, I never, you don't know you can do it until it actually happens and you get that print in your hand, and then it's like, oh, this is next level.
Take off,
yeah.
Bro. I'm glad you took off, bro. I'm glad you have your own style,
facts,
your own feel. You know what I mean? It's great to see another king, finding himself and finding his purpose and pouring all into it, bro.
That's a fact.
Where do you see your company in the next 5 years?
Man, I want to travel the world with this a little bit more. I definitely see me owning a studio or having my own space, having a staff dedicated to ISO V photography, having a team that's really dedicated to making this movement happen.
Yeah.
I want to be seen in magazines everywhere, Everywhere. But I do have a dream to one day. I definitely want to shoot in Dubai. That's a dream place for me to take my camera and my lighting equipment and just go crazy. Yeah. But yeah, just traveling and really building this ISOV brand. You know,
man, I pray you keep doing that, sir. You know what I mean? Brand building boss, brunch with bosses, man. You know, I'm juiced up, bro. You got me inspired over here. I want you to shoot me an ISOV. Before we get out of here, and I give you one last question. Tell them where to follow you at one more time.
Man, you can follow me on IG at ISO_V photography. You can find me on Facebook at ISOV photography. It's ISOV photography. And you can find me also on TikTok at ISOV photography.
Bit fast. Before we get out of here, one more question. I know you shoot with a lot of models, a lot of people. Who was your most favorite person to shoot with?
I have two. I have two. One is a great friend of mine. This Flick Styles. She's a stylist, so she knows how to kind of come correct to a photo shoot. Always ready. The second was the first time I actually got to work with a professional supermodel, and that's the Tina. Both of these young ladies were featured in my magazine features, and I mean, some of my best work that I've ever done. And to see a supermodel that was on American Next Top Model and all of that say, hey, I love your work, I want to keep working with you. Facts. That was amazing to me, you know.
Yo, that's a big fact. Yo, shout out Stat, man. Like I know Stat too, man. Great person, yes. True, real hungry hustler, man. Super dope person, man.
Beautiful soul, bro.
Beautiful soul. Straight from LA, man. You know what I mean? Like been in movies. What was she in? Dynamite, Dolomite.
Dolomite.
Yeah. That's when I seen her in Dolomite. I was like, dang. I was like, I know
she been in so many music videos growing up that I seen, and I had to go back and I was like, that was you. Yeah. Like that's an honor, you know? That's crazy.
That's a big accomplishment, bro. That's big. All right. Two things to an entrepreneur finna get in the game. Two things.
First is understanding that social media is more than just photos. Understanding that social media aspect changes every day. So know the algorithm, know how to beat it. Reels is it right now. If you ain't figured that out, start posting on Reels. Dang. Pictures is not it right now.
I'm late.
TikTok and Reels, that's where you got to go. And second thing is invest in your craft. Research that, but it takes time to research that and then the action of investing in it, because the more I invested into ISOV, the better the product got, the more the clients came. Don't worry about you're not going to make that money back. You're going to make that money back times 10 if you're dedicated to that craft. So pull that trigger and, I mean, invest. That was the biggest one for me.
Man, you done said a mouthful, bro. Like there's nothing else that needs to be said. Bro, I appreciate you pulling up on it, kid. How you like Soundbar, bro?
I love Soundbar, man. I'm gonna have to come up here and do a shoot one day for sure. So
I'm telling you, it's crazy. We tried to tell you
it is
Soundbar was fired before anybody else told you, bro. Mm-hmm. But if you have not come out here, make sure you stop in the Soundbar, get you something to eat, get you something to drink, man. You know, and mix and mingle. Brunch with Bosses. We're gonna take one more quick break. We're gonna do one more interview. But, bruh, ISOV.
My boy.
It's classic, bruh.
Yes, sir.
Man, we'll get to you.
I appreciate you.